Hi, I'm Bill Causey from SCORE Northeast Indiana. I'd like to thank you all for joining. This webinar is being hosted by SCORE Northeast Indiana, SCORE Southwest Michigan, Better Business Bureau of Northern Indiana, and Hanago Communications. This is in the webinar mode, so your sound and video is muted. If you have comments or questions, please use the Q&A and we'll try to answer those at the end of the presentation. As shown here on the screen, SCORE's mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. Mentoring we do numerous ways. We do mentoring face-to-face, by phone, by video, however the client would like to do. Education, we do that through live webinars such as this. We have recorded webinars and all sorts of templates and resources on our website. Our vision is to give every person the support they need to thrive as a small business owner. Our values are we want to provide the most ethical, unified approach to achieving our goals in a way that contributes to our greater cause. For your information, our SCORE mentors sign a code of ethics annually, which says we will not share any of the information from our mentoring sessions or participate in any of our clients' businesses. If there's more information you want to look at, please notice there are recorded webinars. There's also a startup roadmap. I suggest you explore those. And then if you go over and look under the templates and resources, there are template galleries for better business, for business plans, for financial projections, etc. SCORE is a resource partner with the Small Business Administration. Here in Northeast Indiana, we have 38 mentors. We have 4 locations. We're in Kendallville, Huntington, and Warsaw, and headquartered here in Fort Wayne. Across the country, we have over 11,000 volunteers and over 250 chapters. So we're very honored today to have Cheri Bales here, who is the owner of Hanago Communications. She's a certified SCORE Kalamazoo Southwest Michigan mentor, a subject matter expert, a live chat mentor, and a national webinar presenter for SCORE. She has more than 30 years of experience in marketing strategy with small business and education, and regularly helps clients select the right marketing mix and evaluates its success. She has an MA in communications from Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo and is a Grow with Google partner, a certified constant contact partner, and a LinkedIn advisor. She also, on a personal basis, is a mom of 4 boys and has played pickleball longer than it's been cool. So at that point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to turn it over to Cheri. This is being recorded, and we will share the recording link and the link to the presentation afterwards. So thanks so much for joining us.
All right, I have the ability to share my screen. This is great. Let me get my meeting controls out of the way. Start that. Hi, as Bill said, I am Cheri Bales. I got a little intro page here. I am here today to talk to you about learning the basics of Google Ads. How many of you, show of hands, I can't see you, but it will work, have searched for something on Google that you wanted to buy recently? Pretty standard, I think. Well, I'm going to tell you how you can get started as a small business person and kind of understand the overall goals, processes, and procedures that Google Ads have. And I'll be back with video in a little bit. So let's get started. Remember to put your notes in the Q&A box if you have questions of me. So we head over to Google to research a purchase almost every time we buy something. 49% of shoppers said that they found new products, and 59% said they use Google to research the purchase. It might be whether you're looking to see if that item is in stock, or if it's in stock near you, or if the store that has it in stock is actually open. So it's not just a catchy phrase going online. We live online, and a 2019 study showed more than half of people use Google to research their purchase. So that's from 2019. Anyone believe that number and the number above it have gone up exponentially? I believe it has. We're going to talk to Google about getting some new research. All right, so that's my pitch. The benefits of online advertising then is in traditional ads, you know, you place your ad, you put it in print or billboards or wherever in a publication, and you hope that people see it and respond to it. Whereas online advertising actually is live, one-on-one, and your ad will be displayed when people search for a specific word or phrase. Now, we're assuming that those words that they're searching for, and we're going to call those keywords throughout, we determine that they are in your ad or on your destination. You can then, using online advertising, actually measure how many people clicked, how many people took further action, where they went, what they did. But Google advertising does not have to be hugely expensive, and only once have I ever seen it go crazy and spend a lot of money, and that was my fault. So I'll take the hit for that. Here's our agenda for the day. We're going to talk about how they work, how Google Ads work. I'm going to show you a little bit about why you might want to advertise on Google and help you learn to get started there. We'll give you some tips for improving your ads. And then I'm a data nerd, so we'll always talk about measuring success. And then I'll have some recap and resources for you. And Bill will be dropping some of those into the chat, I believe, for you to access as we go forward. Let's start with a quick video, and we're going to base our discussion today on this little company out of Brooklyn, New York. Please watch.
Everybody likes jam. Who doesn't like jam? Seriously, I dream about flavors. Trade Street Jam Company makes low sugar vegan jams for pretty much everything under the sun. Honey, do you know how many things you can do with this jam? You can make cocktails, you can put on roasted meats or veggies, oatmeal. The uses are endless. I've been a chef for about 15 years. I needed something fun to do after work. I'm not a big TV watcher. I would stop at this store on the way home, grab a bunch of fruit, anything weird and exotic that they had. And I start cooking. I start jamming. Too much? You don't like the puns? You like the bananas, honey? Yeah. My husband is my test dummy, I guess you could say. Some more? You like mommy's cooking? When I started Trade Street, I was selling on another e-commerce platform, and we were also selling a lot of jam in person. But COVID hit and all the markets shut down, which freaked me out. I'm already scared about being a new mommy. And then on top of that, I'm worried about the life of my business. People started ordering specialty food online, so we immediately had to pivot and focus all of my efforts on selling online. When people go on Google and they search jam or jelly, I want them to be able to find my brand. With Google Ads, they can type those things in and I pop up. You guys, that's huge. Being able to sell on our website, it really did save us. I couldn't imagine going back to not using Google products. We went from making 2,000 jars every 2 months to making 2,000 jars every 2 weeks. Our sales increased by 1,000%. It was crazy. I've hired 4 or 5 different contractors. Hiring feels amazing. I think it's so important for our product to have a story behind it. I think when people see a woman behind the brand, a person of color, it just really adds something to that jar other than jam. Oh, you kiss mommy. You kissing mommy. I want Zola to be able to grow up and look at me and say, my mom did that. I wouldn't trade that for the world.
Aw. And we don't need to go to that page right now, but that will be there for you later if you need it. No, I don't want the video done. Next. Oh, that's what I hate about videos. All right, so It all starts with a Google search. We're looking at a really small business here, really small startup. And there's actually a company that does that right around me here in the Kalamazoo, Michigan region. But basically, how a Google ad works is someone types a search query, and a search query is the words and or phrases that someone would type into a Google search bar. And we're talking about Google, not Bing or Yahoo today. They're going to type that query in, and then the Google algorithm is going to create search results. And I'm going to explain how those happen and how you get to the top. So these things, the query and the connection to the search results, you do not pay for. That is available to everyone in the whole world, and you cannot buy your way to the top of the Google search results unless you spend ad dollars. All right, so then helping your site show up in the search results requires a tactic called SEO, or search engine optimization. Big words, not a terribly complex topic, but I'm going to explain it hopefully today. Today's focus is on advertising, but we'll have a lot of chances to talk about keywords and how to do that. So every time someone searches with a query, Google spits out search results. The way they find that is that the Google bots, these little, I don't even want to imagine what they look like, neurons, go out all day, every minute, every hour, every second, and they're searching web content. They're looking for new content. If you've ever heard someone say your site isn't indexed properly, that means your content isn't being found by the Google search. And the Google search is looking for how closely your content matches what the customer typed into the search bar. It's also looking at whether or not you have a valid website and social media and maybe some reviews, and you've filled out your about information on your Google business profile. So there's a lot of ways, a lot of things you have to do to get to the top of the Google search. And a lot of that is based on search engine optimization. Quite frankly, it's the Dewey Decimal System of the World Wide Web. It allows you to let people know what products and services you have by using those keywords and matching that up to them when they search. So when they present this Google search result and you have ads, column 3, advertisers bid for opportunities to show, the only thing you have to do to get to the top of those paid results is to spend more than your nearest competitor. So it's a playing back and forth game with Google Ads budget to determine what you need to get to the top for those search terms that you've identified, and we'll use Trade Street Jam, we'll use vegan jam, we'll use organic jam. All of those search queries we're hoping will result in our ad being shown because we've chosen those words. And then in a millimeter, Google determines who's going to be at the top, and the winner, the person with the ad or the person with the best content, are shown, and then comes the paying part. So once a client or a potential customer clicks a Google ad, this is the paid portion, that's when you start paying. You don't pay for it to be there. You don't pay for the platform to be set up, nothing. Just when someone clicks. All right, so this works like an auction. Remember I said you got to be just a little bit higher than the other person? Google calculates this thing called the ad rank threshold to determine the winners. And like I mentioned, your top ad rank threshold is going to be in first position. Your second is going to be in the next position. So they base these determinations on a number of factors as they calculate who gets to the top. Here's the first one. How much did you bid? If you are paying $4 a day for Google Ads, and yes, you can get traction at that amount, and your competitor is paying $5 a day for Google Ads, you're probably not going to beat them unless you have a differentiator. Your product is significantly different from that other person, and people know that, and they're looking for that product. But the first factor that they calculate that ad rank threshold on is the bid. The quality of your ad and landing pages goes into that. So if you don't have a website, you can still run a Google ad. You just would deliver people to your Google business profile as a landing page. But if you have a good ad, you don't have typos, you have proper capitalization, you didn't use 4 exclamation points. I don't think they actually let you use any anymore because that was a problem. These are the minimum quality requirements, and you've got to meet that, even if you're the only advertiser doing vegan jam. Okay, so you've got to have that. The competitiveness of your auction, i.e., how many other people are trying to get shown for vegan jam, also impacts the position of your ad. The context of the search also does. If someone says location for vegan jam or vegan jam near me or vegan jam New York, that's also going to contribute to who gets shown. If you have a local business and you have New York as your address, your chances of being shown under that context is also better. And then finally, the expected impact of your ad assets. Assets are all the things that Google Ads use to showcase your product or service. It's the words, it's the pictures, it's the logos, it's the site links, it's the sentences. It's all really important to make sure that everything there, like your bonus information, add your phone number, add a messaging, all of those ad assets, and I'll show you where those are, really can help your ad stand out by giving more information than what's typically there. And a note from Google, don't worry if your ad position fluctuates. That's normal. But hopefully the tips in this workshop will help improve your ad rank, which helps you show up on Google, improves your chances of being seen on Google. All right, so this workshop focuses on text ads that appear on google.com. So if I go do a search on Google, this ad, what you're seeing here, would show up. Now, they've since also changed the wording, and it now says sponsored. And I had clients who are like, no, I don't want to see an ad from them. And I'm like, no, that's not what it means. They're not taking you to view an ad. They're paying for this to be seen. So now instead of the word ad next to this, you'll see the word sponsored. All right. So when do I pay for my Google ads? Well, you pay per click, and you might have heard pay per click, cost per click, PPC, CPC tossed around. That's the pricing model. So advertisers on Google Ads only pay when someone clicks an ad. And that's just really important to understand and remember, because it helps small business owners to be secure that their ad isn't going to go viral and spend thousands of dollars unless you do what I did, which was forget to turn it off. So again, totally my fault. This is an example of a text ad. All right. So you do not need to worry about a bunch of random spammers clicking your ad to drive your ad prices up. Google does have some things in place to combat fraud. So if someone provides a bunch of invalid clicks, Google is smart enough to recognize that. And if they find that those clicks didn't get automatic attention, then you can call or email or use the support page to ask them for a credit for those. Some of the things that they would consider invalid clicks would be, like I said, people who are just being mean and they go click your ad 100 times to drive your ad costs up. We don't like that. Clicks by bots, automated bots, clicking tools, deceptive software, or anything else that provides no value to the advertiser, quote unquote, quote, end quote. All right, ads. Text ads, keep in mind these are text ads, can also appear on the Google Display Network, which includes all the places that Google plays. Google owns YouTube, so now they own the #1 and the #2 search engine in the world. And it's been said in one of my data slides here that this platform, Google Ads, reaches 90% of the world that has Wi-Fi. That's a pretty cool number. So these ads can show up anywhere. If you're playing a game on your browser, on your cell phone, and you get an ad on the top, that could be a Google ad. If you are on YouTube and you have to watch an ad before you can watch the content, that could be a Google ad. So 90% of internet users worldwide. I'm not going to talk about this Google Display Network. It's a type of ad promotion because we want to focus on the basics of and the getting started with. All right, let me grab a quick drink. And let's talk about actually advertising on Google. It all starts with a Google ad. So you sign in to your Google account, whatever Google account you have. Typically, you want to use your business Gmail account. If you don't have a Gmail in your business name, I would say get one. It's going to help. You can use other emails anywhere you want, but for establishing a Google account that you're going to use for ads or business profiles, I would do it with your business email for sure, and with a Gmail that's related to your business if you can. So it's going to bring you to this nice page that says start now. And then you will be able to sign in and you will start now. So once you click, oh, I was going to say, remember, there's no fee to do this. We're not spending anything yet. We are just looking at this. And the only way we will ever spend money is if you click publish and the ad gets approved and it goes live. But then you can always go back and turn it off or adjust the budget or change the time or whatever. But there is no obligation here, no startup fee, no cancellation fee, no minimum commitment, and no contract. You can turn things on and off as often as you like. So I had trouble figuring this out right here. The fourth item, Google Ads will default to smart mode to allow quick campaign setup and automated ad management. I call that training wheels. And we all deserve to be in the training wheels mode at first. And so I'm glad that Google is focused on this primarily for this session, because when you get to expert mode, you have a lot more things that can go wrong. So I thoroughly encourage you to stay with this mode. Smart campaigns also get started faster because they don't take as much setup. And you don't have to manage your ads. In expert mode, you're in your Google Ads account weekly, if not daily, managing your ads. So you really want to let Google do the work. Again, it doesn't cost you any more for them to do this. Oh, all right. At this point, you're ready to get started. So we're in the Google Ads page. I want you to see ads.google.com, new campaign, and this is a smart campaign. So first thing you're going to do is enter your business name. This should be the name you want potential customers to know you by. I have seen the LLC. I have seen it without the LLC. I'm not sure it matters, but more importantly would be getting your name, address, and phone number standardized across all platforms, depending on your LLC or court paperwork and your Google address in Google Maps. So that's called name, address, phone. You want them to be identical so you don't confuse the Google bots. Okay, so at this point here, we're creating the ad account, which we just did. And then we are creating our first smart campaign by entering our name of our business. All right, I had to crunch this up bigger just now before I got on here so y'all could see it because they had this image so low. But the next thing you're going to do is enter the address of the web page URL or landing page URL or Google Business Profile URL. Now, if this is an ad, I'm probably not going to send people to my homepage because people can't buy anything on my homepage. They have to keep clicking, right? And let me give you a good example that I use in a lot of my webinars. Let's say that I do a Google search for women's size 10 pickleball shoes, Nike, near me today. So I could buy today in stock. That would be the last one. Google is not going to send me, and Nike is not going to send me to the Nike homepage when I do a search like that. They are going to send me to the red size 10 pickleball shoe page, or I'm not going to keep going. So think about your call to action, your destination link. And I have this conversation almost daily with clients. We have these great appetizers for Easter, great. They run their promo on social media and they take people to the homepage. And I said, but you have to go search for the Easter treats now. Oh, I get it. So now that ad money takes people right where they can make the buying decision. I mean, you're at the bottom of the sales funnel here. If they get to your ad through search result, they're intending to make a purchase. It's just whether it's going to be from you or someone else. And if I am looking for right here, you'll see collections, single jams. If I am looking for, your ad showed me a single jam or a collection of single jams, that's what I'm looking for. Don't land me on your homepage and then make me do the search and the research myself. Take me right where I can take action. And I mentioned the Google Business Profile, as this might not be your website homepage. If you don't have a website ready and rolling yet, use the Google Business Profile. I did that earlier today, and I don't think it was recorded, but I can share a link to how to do that on my YouTube page later. All right, so we can go to the Google Business page, we go to the home page, but unless it's like awareness or branding, I wouldn't go to the home page. So we want to go right to the product where you can purchase that product. All right, so as you build that little page, you're going to see these previews, okay? And it's going to show you what Google says it's going to do for you, because remember, we have training wheels. We're letting them do the heavy lifting. They said, this is what we're going to show them. And they're going to go ahead and take care of that for you. But here, while you're building out the ad and you're seeing the ad, you get a chance to look at how it will look on mobile and how it will look on desktop. This is a big deal. I see this a lot with order of operation when you're using an email marketing campaign and there's a picture, then a date on the right, then there's a date on the left and a picture on the right. They're going to go top to bottom. And so you want to make sure that your content shows in the exact order that you want on your website, because that's what we're talking about here, as well as in your ads. No matter what device people are using, they will see your ad. So we know that it's cross-platform. All right, now we get to select an advertising goal. And again, this is training wheels, so there's only a few goals here. They may not match exactly what you need. But let's say you have an Easter brunch that you're advertising and you want people to call for reservations. You would choose Get More Calls. Now, does that mean that for the rest of your life, the only Google ad call to action is Get More Calls? No, because you can have lots of ads, lots of campaigns, and lots of ad groups, and I'll show you that structure in a minute. A lot of people want to get more website sales or leads. Again, if you're looking for leads, take people where they can take action or take them to the Contact Us page if you have something like a workshop or something you're signing, or the event page if it's on Eventbrite, so they can sign up for your event. Don't just take them to the homepage, take them where they can take action. You can also do local store visit as an advertising goal or as an objective. So if your goal is to get people into your store, you're going to do ads that say, come visit, come see us, stop by, and you're going to have your address just blasting everywhere so that they can find you. Or you might be running, at this point, you can do engagement ads on YouTube, and it does not let you do, there's one thing you can't do in here. Oh, you can't run a smart ad on apps. So app advertising is included in a later section of this, and you would be using the expert mode to get into that. So if you've got an app, go to the expert mode after you get through all this. Okay, now you're going to write your ad. So you have 3 headlines. You see the boxes up here that say headline 1, headline 2, headline 3. Then you have 2 descriptions, and then you have a call button. And I urge you to turn that on if you want people to call you, otherwise they can't. I want you to notice underneath on the right-hand side of these boxes, the character count allowed. The headlines are allowed 30 characters. They do not like ampersands. They do not like exclamation points. They do not like bullets. They do not like asterisks. They do, however, not mind initial capitalization. So I tend to do that for my ads because I just think it looks nice. On the right, remember I said you'd be able to see your ad as it's being written? Not your average jams, headline 1. So many delicious flavors, headline 2. View our bestsellers today, headline 3. And then you get this description down underneath here where it says spoonable low sugar jams. You get all these characters. Down here, you get 90 characters. Don't use 30. Use 90. Use 88. Use 87. Fill this up with keywords and phrases that people will be looking for when they are searching for your product or service. So you have an automatic character count. Don't forget that. And if you have a phone, business phone, you want to include a clickable call button so people can call you about your smart ad, smart text ad. All right, this point, you get to choose your keyword themes. And remember, the keywords are the things that people are using when they go on Google or some other search engine and they type in, find this so I can buy it. It might be find jams and jellies near me. It might be order jams and jellies online. It might be organic jams and jellies near me. It might be organic jams and jelly online. You have to choose, and a good way to do that typically is to ask 10 friends or customers what they would type for search words if they were looking for you. And if you find out that they all said jam making equipment, you may not be reaching the right audience. But you're allowed 7 to 10 of these. Basically, you can get the more. I don't think it really ruins it. It just broadens the reach. So the more broad your search term is. So if we just put the word jam here, I'm going to get shown for band gigs that are called jamming. If we don't sell jam making equipment, we don't want that. It's not close enough. What we want is vegan, no sugar, fruit, organic, jams and jelly, strawberry jelly. And that one might even be a reach because you're likely to get Kroger or Walmart or someone in that result if you're using that word because they're already doing it. But you choose these themes. These are called keyword themes. They're an overall like umbrella. And then anything that fits kind of close with this will help Google find your ad. All right. So you want to describe your theme here needs to describe the focus of your ad. So if you put something in here that had to do with some other page on your website, it doesn't make sense to be found for that kind of a search term. All right, 20, geographic location. You do not have to show your ads to the entire world. In fact, I suggest that you don't. There are 2 ways to advertise. One is radius, and that you can slide. You could set your location and set a radius around. Or if you look down below that slider, you'll see advertise in specific zip code cities or regions. You can use zip codes. You can use city names. You can use counties. I think they even allow you to use voting districts. That's really pretty deep. Not here, but in expert mode. Here, you can go near an address. So if I'm a local business and I have customers coming from 40 miles away, then I'll have a 40-mile radius of my address. Otherwise, in my case, I serve clients all throughout the United States. So I have mine set to a region of the United States. So that makes it nice because you can personalize that. Now, these ads, and I heard this question once before, these ads are going to show up to people who may not necessarily live in your neighborhood. If you've heard of geo-targeting or geolocating, typically if someone is within your 40-mile search radius or whatever this is here, and they're only visiting there, they could still see your ads. When they go home, they won't. But they may see your ads while they're in that geographic area and they may be looking, but they may not actually live there. So you got 2 choices, radius or regions. Next, you set your budget and you see 3 choices here. They're going to tell you the recommended budget, and that's based on what other people using those same keywords are spending. And they're telling you that if you spend $7.40 a day, again, little small numbers here, says you will get an estimated 120 to 280 ad clicks each month. Okay, so that's a $225 monthly maximum that you will be spending on ads. It will not go any higher than that. So you're going to set this based on how much you want to spend through the month. And Google, when it hits that dollar amount, it says, hey, you're out of money. Do you want to add more? If you've had a ton of clicks at the first part of the month, potentially. Or it sends you a bill when you reach your billing threshold, which is 200, 500, 800. And or it sends you a bill on the last day of the month for any accrued clicks. And remember, you are paying only for the clicks. Are they all going to be legitimate? Probably not. You gotta take some chances there in hopes that you'll get the majority of them are good. So you can also enter your own budget if you see down here at the bottom. And I typically will do this, and there's a little slider that you can do, and it will show you where the no-go zone is. And if you just enter like a nickel above that, then you're in the go zone. You might not be at the top of the results, remember, because you might have to spend this 500 monthly to get to the top of those sponsored search results. But I don't think you need to spend this much to get started. I don't know your industries. I'm going to be happy to talk with you one-on-one. I usually go lower than the recommended to get started. There's no point in splashing out thousands of dollars if you haven't proven the concept. And if your ad sucks, if your ad is no good, or it's not doing what you wanted to do, or it's not going to the right place, you don't want to spend a bunch of money before you get that worked up. So important point here is your daily ad spend, how much you spend in one day's time, can be different. One day you get 1 click, you spend $1. One day you get 40 clicks, you spend $40. So you can only spend up to the maximum allowable budget that you have said you are willing to give them in a 1 month period. So if your monthly budget is 150 and your ad spend is $10 because you haven't had any clicks, all you're going to pay Google is $10, not the 150. You can increase your budget anytime you want and decrease your budget anytime you want. You can pause the ad, you can change the content, you can do pretty much anything you want from this point on. Then you get to review your campaign, and we want to make sure that all the right words are here and that all the right ad text, see, it's just running it all together, but it's what we're going to see, that our location is right, that our keyword themes are right, that our budget's right. One thing I will caution you, if you have a website without an S at the end of it, https:/, you need to get that S added, or you need to update where it's listed, because Google is slowly phasing out those without the S, because that stands for secure. And if you are not, they do not want you there. Okay, so that's what your ad's going to look like. So you get to review it before you publish. Then, of course, you have to submit a billing, a payment method. But again, until you click run this ad, hit the button. My clients call it hit the button. Until you run it, you're not spending anything. None of this is costing you anything. And yes, you receive a $500 credit when you spend $500. I have one of those sitting on my desk right now. It is actually true. It used to say you get a $500 ad credit. Now it says when you spend $500. So that is true. That does happen. You will get that if you spend a lot of money. So once it's launched, you're going to be able to access the scheduling. So that's an additional feature. You can tell Google, I don't really want to show this ad, especially if it's a call ad, when my business is closed. You can get that granular. You can select the day of the week and the times of the day that you want your ads to show. That's how you set up a smart campaign, and that is the easiest thing to do. So let's talk about more advanced campaign creation with a search campaign created in expert mode. So if you look at the far left column, that's what's happening, the bidding, what's happening with bidding, what's happening with ad assets. Remember, those are your website links and your photographs and your logos and your videos. Keyword creation, remember, those are the words people are using. Keyword editing, meaning choosing the right words. Reporting, which is our data analytics. Showing our ads where and when, which you'll see is handled differently, and then landing pages. So we just covered smart campaigns, and you can see automated. Advertiser can manage keyword themes. We talked about the grouping. And then reporting is just real simple. I'm going to show you that later. Ad showing is automated unless you change it. And landing pages, that URL to a destination, there's only one per campaign. Okay, moving into search campaigns, which will require expert mode, you can access all of the ad campaign types and have more control over your content. So you can manage your own bidding, you can manage your own assets, you can add and delete and negative and positive and bracket your keywords. You can add individual keywords, and we'll talk about the format for those. You can get more detailed reports for the campaigns. You manage when and where the ads show. You have that ability in the other one, but it's managed totally by you, like I said. And you can have a multitude of landing pages where people can go when they want to learn more about you. Expert mode requires active management, that manage. And there are companies that will do that for you, and they'll charge you a base rate plus a percentage of your ad spend, typically. It's if you go with the automated or you learn how to get your ad published and make the minor changes that are needed, there's not that much you have to overhaul unless it's a time-sensitive campaign. So I really believe that a lot of clients with a little bit of training can do this on their own. But remember, expert mode is recommended for marketers and advertisers who need advanced controls, tools, and reporting. So in the SMART campaign, this is the account structure, and it's like a business flow chart, basically. The account is Trade Street Jam. It's their unique address, password, has their billing information. It's their Google account. Under campaign, you can have more than one campaign. So let's say the campaign on the left is Easter and the campaign on the right is St. Patrick's Day. So my company has an Easter egg hunt event. So I'm going to create an ad for the Easter egg hunt. Then that's also followed by an Easter brunch. So I'm probably going to create an ad for Easter brunch. Again, we're taking people to a place that they can call to make a reservation. They can go to the booking site on your website. And there could be one more here, photos with the Easter bunny. So all of those are a way of getting your message out through various ads under the campaign. So one campaign can manage lots of ad groups, okay? And then over here, if we've got St. Patrick's Day, same thing. St. Patrick's Day desserts, order online, shop in store by March 16th. Plan ahead. Here comes our Easter promotion. So we can run multiple ad groups underneath each campaign. So you don't need a brand new campaign. So here's an example. Your first campaign, right here, our Easter, might have a budget of $50 a day and only be shown to people who speak English. So you can actually set that. Your second campaign over here may have a budget of $60 a day to show ads to people who set their browser language only to Spanish. So we can get that granular. So in this example, the advertiser could spend up to $100 a day across the two campaigns. And you can have up to 10,000 campaigns. 10,000 is a great number. That's what you get in Google Ad Grants if you're a nonprofit. All right, and then level 3, ad groups. The most successful ads are highly focused keywords and images and assets that match the ad. So we're not down here advertising our product, our service, our holiday, and then sending them to our blog page on how to draw Google icons. So you have lots of room to move things around. And that is where you will be able to understand the structure of your account. Doing on time. Oh my goodness. I do have a few more. I'm going to have to go. Wow, this is an hour and a half webinar in an hour. So in Smart Campaigns, I'm going to just show you real quickly because you can do this. You just go to the Google Ads platform. If you are a professional marketer, you switch to Smart Edit. That makes sense. If you started a Smart campaign and didn't finish it, you can always go back and do that. When you're in expert mode, you're going to be able to create a new campaign. You can do search, performance max, display, discovery. There are some other options here. You're going to want to select the goal that is the closest to what you need people to do. Remember, you can always go back. Now that you know how to set one up, the basics, let's talk really quickly about how you're going to make improvements. So remember I said use your 30 characters max for the headline. Use your 90 characters max for your descriptions. Have one most relevant page on your site. All right, we went over this for a little bit earlier, but what's relevant to the searcher's query and what keyword do we want to buy? Do we want to buy the word jam and get bands results? Or do we want to use buy cranberry jam, which is typically what someone else would be looking for? And then remember the call to action. If you have them going to a particular website to buy something, make sure they can do that when they get there. All right, so there's our keyword themes again, and we talked about what that is. With the keyword theme, you're actually using this to provide a broad list so that you don't have to develop an exhaustive list. You don't need the 1,200 keywords that SEO agency is telling you need at the Smart Campaign level. You just need the ones Google suggests or the ones that you can add as you go through. So keywords 7 to 10, remember to think like your customer, right? Think about your ad strategy. Is this ad actually selling something or is it just fluff, right? And then make those campaigns for the different types of things. You got one for Easter, one for Valentine's, one for St. Patrick's Day. And then there's actually a way in Google Ads to put in negative keyword themes like band jam. So we could put band, anything with the word band in it. We could say, don't show my ad when someone does that. So broad match keyword shows anything related to the word jam. Search phrase keyword uses anything that may include the meaning of the word jam. So you'd still get that. The exact, and you can do this with these brackets, not important. There's another way to select these. Show that there's searches that mean the same thing. And then the negative minus band prevents your ads from showing. There is a very handy tool called Keyword Planner. When you get into Google Ads, you go to the tools and settings and you can enter your website and it will tell you all the great keywords you have there. If you're lacking keywords, it will show you very few. Or you can actually ask it to plan out some keywords based on 1 or 2 search terms. Remember I mentioned assets, add assets. That's what these things are. A call out asset is buy virtual gift cards underneath your ad, best sellers underneath your ads. And then your site links, your price, some places allow you to add prices. And then your visuals, your images, your videos, your reels, whatever else you can post there to help you get the word out. We're nearing the close. Okay, how do we measure? And this is probably the most boring part for everyone, but it's really important to you from a marketing point of view. You need to know if your ad actually helped you complete the goal that you wanted it to. Did it do? Did you get more phone calls? Did you get more sales? Did you get more email signups? Did you get more visits to your store? So Google has these built-in things. What they measure at the highest level is impressions, meaning how many times your ad was displayed. And I figure that like a billboard on the highway, you're driving by it. It also measures and reports to you on the number of clicks that have been made on the ad. And if you have conversions set up, which is again a deep dive that they skim over here, you'll be able to see the customer actually make the purchase or complete the goal on your website. Under reports in the Smart Campaign, again, simplified, tells you how many eyeballs were shown, how many people clicked, and how many people actually converted if you have that set up. There's really not much in here to worry about. Search campaigns, a little bit deeper, because remember, we've got all these pages. We've got the groups, we've got the ads, we've got the keywords, we've got the landing pages. These numbers are going to show us much, much greater detail about who has done what, where. And that translates then if you have it tied to your website data analytics. You can track conversions, and you see up here under tools and settings again, you'll be able to find the conversions tool under there. I think it's called measurement, and then conversions. And you can set conversions up a number of different ways. Two ways is through here, which is through Google Ads, and the other one is through your Google tag on your website. But both actions are probably going to require some coding to your website. This one's going to measure lots of cool things like cost per conversion and conversion rate. And that will tell us whether we're actually reaching our customers and, getting the message to them. Linking it, Google Analytics links to Google Ads. That's really handy. And then, like I said, you can use the Google Tag Manager. So we talked about how they work, how to advertise, how to improve your ads, measuring your success. And that's where I think I'm going to pause and come back on video so that you can ask your questions. I'll stop the share for just a second and then turn my video on. Why is it not turning on? There we go. All right. So do we have questions lined up?
We have many questions. So
all right. Know that if I don't get to your question, there will be a transcript of this chat sent to me, and I will give you my contact information for asking questions afterwards. So don't panic if we don't get to you, but I can stay on as long as anybody wants. I don't know about the SCORE folks. They might have places to go, but here's that $500 ad credit I was telling you about. All right, go ahead. What do you got?
It has to please compare Google Ads with Facebook and Edge ads. Any comment on that?
Compare to Google ads or Facebook ads and what?
Edge ads.
I don't know what an edge ad is, so I can't compare that. Facebook ads are much, much less expensive, have a great reach, but we typically are advertising to people that we already know on Facebook or people who know the people that we know on Facebook, unless we do some real detailed targeting. Google is set up to reach a much broader audience. It costs more, but when you compare the end result, if your cost per click is 29 cents, let's say that every click you had cost you 29 cents, and you go to Facebook and you determine that every click you had, let's say it's an event registration, is that you had 40 clicks and it cost you $40. You don't necessarily know whether those people applied or did anything from Facebook because they don't allow you to measure the conversions. With Google Ads, I can see exactly where they went. I can see what page they went to. I can see what the next page was, and the next page I can see them enter my checkout, and I can see them get the thank you message for shopping at Cheri's shop. So that's the difference. The Google is more expensive and it has the ability to really fine tune things on a broader scale. And Facebook is good for local events or local businesses to get people in the doors. I really use them a lot for that. Thanks. Good question.
I have a question. Do they pay when someone clicks on a website versus an ad?
They pay one time when a person clicks the ad, and the click on the ad will take that person to the website. Okay.
And one person commented they get bots. So is there a way to control that?
There's not, sadly, other than to fine tune either when you're showing the ad, your audience, your radius, your keywords, maybe add the negative keywords that are getting the clicks. And that's, again, in expert mode, you'll be able to see what people are searching for who are being shown your content. But you're charged once when you click on the ad, and then it should go right to the place where people can make a purchase, and that's called a conversion.
One had a problem with hundreds of clicks coming in from YouTube, and they asked a question. Is there a way to turn that option off?
If you are advertising on display networks, which is that expert mode again, you can change what platforms show. You can show just apps or you can show just YouTube. The bot clicks, if it's really bad, I've actually got a support number for Google. I'm going to share. How many people we got in here? I'm going to share it with you. If you want to write this down, I'm going to show you in the camera. It's pretty bad. 866 246-6453. They actually do want to help you and they don't really want to upsell you, but that's kind of my go-to person. If you're getting a ton of bots and you can see that they're going to the website or they're clicking on the ad and it's costing you money, go to the Google help button in the ads. They'll say contact support and you got to go through like 4 or 5 bot answers, but just start emailing them. And then the thing is, you got to watch for a call back like immediately, because sometimes they will call and it comes from Herndon, Virginia. A lot of the times they're in India, but the call comes in through a Herndon, Virginia line. And they will call you and they will walk you through everything that you need. And I do every month, I do an hour walkthrough with the ads that I manage from Google so that I can learn how to do my own ads better. So there's some support out there. Next.
Google is always offering me $500 to use towards ads. Is this a good idea to use?
You have to spend the 500 to get the 500. And yes, it is. And it has an expiration time on it. So if you're inclined to do that, start spending, check your expiration date, make sure it doesn't go past. But yes, it's legit.
Well, getting an ad, does that put you on the top of the Google search?
It can if it's the particular word or phrase that you have bought the ad for and no one else has bought an ad for that word or phrase. Or that's one way, is organically, if you're at the top of the research of the search results, it means you've got something that Google's searching for and nobody else has. Or you're paying $1 more than the person under you for the ad result so you can be at the top. That's the guessing game. You watch where you are in the position, and then the next day you spend a little more. It's like day trading. Next day you spend a little more to get a little higher, and eventually you find the sweet spot where you're at the top for those words. Remember, we've got a keyword theme, broad, or we've got keywords, very more narrow, that I want to be found for. Marketing, Google, constant contact, LinkedIn, keywords like that. Good question.
Do you pay to get a business Google Gmail? And what's the difference from a personal Gmail?
I don't use the Google Workspace as much as I should, and there's really no difference. It's just a new Google account using the Gmail that they give you. Just go to Google and say create an account, and they'll walk you through that if you don't have one. You can use your personal account to do this, no problem, because you can assign others to have roles within your Google Ads platform, like admin and editor. Keep them coming.
Can you use an Amazon affiliate URL link for the place people think you should go when they click the ad?
I don't know why not. You're advertising a product or service and you're taking people to a legitimate website. They're not competing. So Google and Amazon aren't competing. Google wants you to find the product or service that you're looking for. And if an ad pops up and has that and it takes you to an Amazon page, that doesn't surprise me at all. So yes, that would be fine. Great questions.
And to other third-party sites like Etsy or eBay?
Yep, and yep. Shouldn't be a problem. That destination link, that URL, is whatever you want it to be, but whatever it is, make sure it's where people can take action and do something.
What if my business offers a service instead of a product? For example, like installing epoxy flooring.
Oh, okay. Then you advertise your service. Doesn't have to be a product. So if someone searches install epoxy flooring and you have a Google ad and you've bought that keyword theme, epoxy flooring, your chance of showing up is there. If you have epoxy, if they search epoxy flooring installation near me and they live in the same region, same zip code, same area, or within your service area, then they also could be shown that ad. But it works the same as a product ad. Your destination link likely will either be call now, because you want your conversion is to get the client on the phone and sell them, or taking people to your contact us link where they can reach out via a secure platform to ask you their question. But yeah, definitely advertise your service business.
And how do you figure out the best budget for Google Ads?
Trial and error. Start low, go slow. Don't go to $500 a day if you're not prepared for that to get 50 clicks. Just start low. I almost always start at $1 or $1.50 until the ad has been running for a week, maybe sometimes 2 weeks, just to make sure of the stability of the platform before I throw a lot of an investment toward there. Good question.
And do you suggest we pay for keywords for the Google searches? I see a lot of content writers on Fiverr presenting their skills for this. What do you think about that?
I think that with a little thought and a little of reflection and a little help from Google Keyword Planner, which I showed you a minute ago, you can write your own keywords. You don't need to pay someone on Fiverr. A really easy way to do it is to ask 10 customers or 10 people who know you and know your business, what would you type in the search bar if you were looking for my product or service or what I offer? Those then become your keywords, and those are the words that you then want to, as the question was phrased, that you want to pay for. So it's a bidding auction. If somebody else has those same words and they're bidding $1.70, then I'm going to be second. But if nobody else has those words or I'm bidding $1.80 over my next competitor, then I can move up in the rankings. But it's a daily, if you're managing an expert mode, it's a daily game. You check those budgets, and if you're down, you raise the budget until you get up, and then you lower it when you got good positioning. Thanks. Good question. Bill, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry.
Okay. What's next?
I'm scrolling through here. I have a nonprofit Google Ads grant, and it was switched to the expert mode. Is there any way to change it back?
You don't need to. Just get a monthly appointment with your Google Ads rep, and they will fix anything you want. You don't want to change that back. If you got to go forward, if you got on a two-wheeler, you don't want to go back to the tricycle and the training wheels. But know that Google contact, that Google support for ads is right there at your fingertips, and they do respond. And they don't try to upsell you. I think that's an important note. You will have to listen very carefully because, as I said, the majority of their Google support team is in India, but they are very prompt. They are very gracious. They are very patient. And they have taught me enough to be able to present this webinar. So I really do encourage you to work with the Google support team if you're questioned about Google Ads, and especially the nonprofit. That's big money. You want to make sure that it's being spent well.
It says, how do we get money incentives from Google to run ads?
You get it as a new account. I think you get this 500 if you set up a new account, and then they say, okay, you can get going and we'll give you 500 there. Otherwise, there's not really any grants from Google for advertising. It's all customer paid.
Okay, I'm scrolling down through more. Bear with me.
They keep coming in. It's okay, guys. I promise I'll get back to you if you give me your email, and I might even have to write a whole blog about the answers to all these questions and send it.
We're at 102, so I don't know if you want to continue or what, Cheri.
I can take a couple more questions if people are still on the line. Brittany, do we still have people?
Yeah, we're still 270 people online. So
if you don't have to be anywhere, let's keep going for a minute because that's a lot of questions.
Is there any way to know what a competitor paid for their threshold?
No. All you can do is try to outbid them. And once you get above them, you'll know that they were paying less.
And it says, explain the pay rate again. I think that was the bidding on the ads.
Right. So you pay based on CPC, cost per click, and it only charges you when someone clicks your ad. You set a monthly budget for that ad of $100. And let's say that a click ends up costing, you get 100 clicks. So a click ends up costing you $1. Now, if all 100 clicks come on the first day, you have spent your $100 monthly budget and your ad will pause. That's where I made the mistake. So if you have spent your $100 in the first 10 days, lots of people clicking, then the ad will pause and you will have to go back in and manually start it, or Google will let you know that you've reached your billing threshold, that's the most you can spend this month. And it will say, do you want to reset that to 0? And then you could, in theory, get 2 bills. You could actually get 3 bills from Google in a month. So they bill you when you reach your ad spend capacity, the maximum you've set for the month. They bill you at the end of the month. If you haven't reached ad capacity, they bill you for just what you have had in clicks. So you don't pay the whole 100. Or I think there's a third way too, but they'll bill you. Oh yeah, they'll bill you till your spend limit hits. They'll bill you then, and then they'll bill you again at the end of the month. So people think they're getting multiple ads, but it's just based on the timing. If you run out of ad spend budget, they will stop or pause your ad, and then you have to restart it.
We have numerous questions on will they get a copy of the presentation and the recording, and the answer is yes.
Yes.
So,
yeah. The presentation won't help you much, but if everybody wants it, I mean, it'll probably be a download from somewhere. But I've got the handouts, the things in the chat box for people to download, Bill.
Yeah, I put it in there. So if you look in the chat box, there's some links in there to some of the specific stuff and how to contact Cheri. What are your thoughts on Yelp advertising compared to Google Ads?
Well, let me tell you, I have data from a case study that was Google Business Profile versus Yelp for Business. And if the results can be generalized, what happened was I had a company that was a brew pub, and they had 2 locations, 2 local locations. And I came on board and I said, hey, do you know what a Google Business Profile is? And they go, yeah, but we use Yelp. And I go, no, do you know what a business profile is? No, we use Yelp. He says, not the same thing. It's really not the same thing. So we set up a 3-month test. And the Google Business Profile, again, you can find that on my website or on the SCORE recorded webinars or on my YouTube. The Google Business Profile setup, I got everything set up, had all their calls to action. And then we actually bought the hide logo from the other platform, from Yelp, so that they would have the highest level of here's your stuff. After 3 months, the Yelp platforms, each location had around 900 interactions. And they were like, yeah. And I said, okay, let's pull up the Google now. And you got to remember, Google owns YouTube. Google and YouTube are the biggest search engines in the world. Pull up the Google, and each location had more than 20,000 interactions, meaning that had been shown. So I have to believe that kind of case study will translate over into the ads world as well, but I can't guarantee it. Next.
You want to give us the phone number again for the Google Ad support?
866-246-6453. If it doesn't work, it's not my fault, but that's the number that I use.
All right, I sent that out. Thank you.
Okay. Find another one.
Do they charge for reporting when you call that special number?
They do not. Your support calls are free. And like I said, they'll just call you out of the blue. So you kind of have to get used to answering if you're looking for ad support. First thing they'll do is email you. Then they'll set up a time for you to talk. And each ad account has an assigned person. That person doesn't stay the same. They change every 3 months. So at the beginning of the month, I typically get calls from ad reps on each of my ad accounts. And they're like, do you need something this month? Do you want to do a call? And it's all free. That's all free training and support and improving your ads. And like I said, they're really not going to try to upsell you. I tell them, I go, my ads are off because the client doesn't need the business. He's like, okay. So, okay, good question. Got another one?
Yeah, can a keyword search include a product name you're competing with, or a company name?
Oh, good question. So back to the hobby store example. I have a hobby store client, and they have Traxxas and Arma, and they use a company called Horizon Hobby. We got slapped for using Traxxas and Arma in our Google ads. What it took and this is our product, and I'll address the competitor product in a second. What it took was we had to go to Google and say, look, this is really us. This is what we're doing. So we got a little bit of pushback from them. We had to then go to the manufacturer, to Traxxas Marketing, and get them to tell Google that it was okay if we use the word Traxxas in the brand names in our ad copy. Now, remember this, we're talking about those headlines and descriptions that you saw, and then the keywords. So you got all these other places. Now, on the other side of that, I have a client who does carpet cleaning, and he was a brand new startup. And so we just pulled out all the stops. So we have, there's some local carpet cleaners like Stanley Steamer and Modernistic and, Midwest Carpet Cleaning, whatever. We put their names, we went into expert mode. We put their names in as keywords at the beginning because his call to action was call now. He would get them on the phone and they would say, well, are you Stanley Steamer? And he'd be, no, I'm blah, blah, blah. And I can do exactly what they do. What do you need? And he would book them. So, I mean, was it legit? I don't know. And Google Ads people can tell you one way or the other. But once that he started getting the traffic on his own and he had his own brand awareness, we backed those off. But we don't have them set up as negative keywords. So if someone searches Modernistic Carpet Cleaning Kalamazoo, my client's ad has as good a chance of showing as theirs does. Does that answer the question, you think?
Yeah, one more, maybe this will be our last one. I sell capital equipment nationwide. My website doesn't really have a form to capture the inquiry. Is creating a URL or supplying a phone number the best route?
If you don't have a website that has a place where people can make a buying decision, meaning they can fill out a contact form or an inquiry or an interest form or click to buy something, then I would always use your phone number. And it's just quicker for people, I think, in the realm of things than to go to the website. For you, you're going to get people on the phone. That's how you're going to sell to that customer. They're not probably going to go to the website and do the research and then reach out to you from the website. So in that case, kind of like the carpet guy, I would use the phone number and just get the calls to come in, and then you can convert them and you know what happens to them that way.
Yeah, it's interesting. In the chat boxes, some of the questions are coming up under the wrong names, but whatever, the questions we're trying to address. So,
all right. Well, save all of those and send them to me afterwards. And like I said, my contact info is there. Typically, I'll get a couple hundred emails asking questions. So what I might do is just bundle them all into one email and send you all a response to all the leftover questions that we had. So I want to thank you and thank SCORE for having me and the SBA and the Grow with Google program, which this is just what this program is for, is to help small businesses to learn to use the Google products and play in the Google sandbox. And that's all I have. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks so much, Cheri. I really appreciate your support.
It was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye.